Alright, we're on to Game 6, Dark Elves versus Warriors of Chaos, and throughout the tournament managed to dodge all of the players that I considered to be really good with the really tough lists that I was really worried about, so really quite stoked to finally end on a decent little high note here, because the Warriors of Chaos army that I'm facing here doesn't actually have the Infernal Gateway sort of spam, doesn't have the Black Tongue, doesn't have anything like that. He has got the Infernal Puppet though, and lots of magic missiles in his army. He's got 3 level 2 sorcerers, 1 level 2 sorcerer and 2 level 1s, but the level 2 sorcerer has the Power Familiar and the Black Book thing, so he's got 4 power dice on a level 2 mage. He's got 2 units of 6 knights, one with Marcus Slaanesh, one with Namaka Nurgle and the Banner of Rage. The Slaanesh knights have the Raptor Standard, so big points in those knight units. He's got Dragon Ogres, big unit of Marauder on foot, units of Marauder Horsemen with flails. He's got a Flying BSB with a flail and Golden Eye on the sort of cinch, sort of disc type thing. And really looking forward to playing this guy. I haven't played him before. It's a guy called Nikolai. And really interesting game here, because he's got all of his knights going straight forward with no sort of hounds in front of them to block or redirect or anything like that. I've deployed all of my stuff on the left-hand flank with a bit of shooting and redirection on the right-hand flank, and the plan here is basically just to move forward, avoid his magic missiles, and try and pounce on him in combat with 2 or 3 different combat units here, or even 4 combat units with the Hydra, Blackguard, Chariot, and Coleman Knights, and hopefully pick off his units one at a time, redirecting the other ones while I'm doing that. Next photo, he's got so he's got some knights here. These are the Nurgle Knights with Banner of Rage. He's got the Dragon Ogres behind that, and he's got a couple of Chaos Spawn here, so there's one of them. In the next photo, you've got a picture of his mages here, the level 1 on foot in the middle, and the level 2 on the horse on the right-hand side there with the Slaanesh Marauders. Next picture, he's got a level 1 Nurgle Sorcerer, I think. Was it Nurgle Sorcerer? It might be an Undivided Sorcerer on a chariot behind the spawn and the riders there with the flail, so that's quite cool. The good thing about having a character on a chariot is that it becomes unit strength 5, so you can break ranks with it. Next picture, my shades hiding behind the wood here, ready to move out and march block the knights, shoot at the knights, kill the marauders with flails and everything like that. So that's basically what's going on there. Next picture, he wins first turn, moves forward with his knights here and round just behind them with the Dragon Ogres. And really surprising move to me here, because this is basically him saying to me, I don't mind if you redirect my knights and bait them because they're frenzied, and you can then pounce on them. So I took that as an opportunity to win the game here. So let's have a look at how I dealt with that. Let's go to the next photo. Before we get to that though, he's moving aggressively with his knights to the other side, so I need to redirect them with my harpies, and he's actually got his flail guys on the right hand side of the photo here, aggressively prepared to actually charge anything that tries to redirect the knights. That's quite clever, meaning that I'd have to move forward with the shades and actually shoot the flail guys, the Marauder cavalry there, and kill them. And wipe them out, and if I didn't, I'd get charged, so I'd lose the shades as well. So having to really put myself in the line there, but odds are that I'll be able to pull it off. Next picture. So what happens here is that the Harpies didn't have enough range to move in front of the Chaos Knights with Frenzy. So what I did instead is I used the Chariot as the bait. The Chariot is right in front of the Knights. I've moved the Coleman Knights out of the way so that if the Chariot flees, it won't flee through the Coleman Knights. Then I've set up the Hydra and the Blackguard into a position to actually flank charge the Knights, who have to hold because they're frenzied, and beat them that way. So that's really the plan there. Got the Dark Riders around the left-hand side, bottom left there to shoot at the Marauders. Next photo, I've actually redirected his Knights on the other flank with the Harpies, and I've got the Dark Riders and Shades in a position to shoot at the Marauders with flails there. So doing a lot of damage to them. Next picture, a bit of an overview, and I want to just show this really carefully here. The Chaos Knights, 6 Chaos Knights with Nurgle and Namaka Nurgle and the Banner of Rage. As you can see, they're obviously within charge range of the Chariot. So the Chariot will flee, the Chariot will roll an average of maybe 10 on 3 dice, 10.5, and get out of charge range, allowing me to charge the Knights, because when the Knights fail to charge, they'll be exactly at the front of where the Chariot is now in the photo, and as you can see, it's easily 10 inches from the Blackguard to where the Knights would be positioned. But because Frenzy, you measure the range to see who's in range before you charge, and if anybody's in range, you have to pick a target. What he did is he measured first, and he measured to see whether the Knights were in range of the Blackguard. And I'd tried really hard to make sure that they were out of range of the Blackguard and the Dragon Ogres, but it turns out that he was like just fractionally, maybe an inch, maybe a quarter of an inch, and maybe a quarter of an inch out. And at the end of the day, after a bit of, maybe not so much arguing, but me expressing my annoyance that had actually happened, we decided to 4+ it. So we rolled the dice on a 1, 2, or 3. We'd rule it his way and the knights were in, and on a 1, 2, 4, 5, or 6 we'd rule it my way and the knights were out, for example. That dice roll went in his favour. And going to the next photo, you've got, before we show you the knights charging the Blackguard, we've got the shades wiping out the Marauder with flails, and the knights have been redirected successfully by the harpies, so they're out of the way for now. But in the next photo, his Chaos Knights here are in full combat with the Blackguard, and there's no Hydra involved in the combat, so really nervous about this. 6 knights with 2 attacks each is 12 attacks, but with Frenzy, that's 18 attacks. So 6 multiplied by 3, 18, plus 6 horses, that's 12 attacks.